Hi guys, in the last video on the subject, we understood that the healthy level of fasting blood glucose in the blood is 80 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of blood, which translates to 4 grams of sugar in the entire circulatory system in our body. This sugar circulates as glucose, also known as the blood sugar, to provide instant energy to our muscles, yes, that's right, and organs, especially our brain. Our brain is the biggest consumer of glucose. It requires around 120 to 130 grams of glucose per day in order to stay healthy. That's how important glucose as a nutrient is to our brain. The other places where we can find this glucose molecule is in our liver and our muscles. Our liver storage of glucose is a vital storage place because it is our body's emergency store of sugar energy whenever the blood glucose drops below the healthy level and the brain needs it. The second place where the sugar gets stored in our body is our skeletal muscles. But the body unfortunately cannot use this supply if the blood glucose drops low. The glucose stored in our muscles is dedicated for use only by the muscle for muscular contraction. The body only depends on glucose stored in the liver during emergencies. This glucose is stored in the liver and muscles in the form of a molecule called the glycogen, which is chains of glucose linked together. Whenever the blood sugar drops below 80 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of blood, the body breaks down this liver glycogen into glucose to raise the blood sugar level. This glucose is released into the blood so that all the vital organs such as the brain can function well and get the fuel to work tirelessly. But did you know that apart from carbs in the diet, the body can also get glucose from proteins and fats? Surprised? Let me explain you how. Whenever the blood sugar and liver glucose stores in the body go low, which typically happens in the morning when we wake up from a night of nice 8 hours of full sleep, or when we have not eaten any food for a long period of time, or when we are following a low carb, high fat ketogenic diet, the body converts a unique protein complex known as branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, that come from a protein rich food in the diet, such as from the dairy, milk, meat and fish, into glucose in the liver through the process known as gluconeogenesis. Gluco refers to glucose, neo refers to new, and genesis relates to generation, which means generation of new glucose. The second source for the body to obtain glucose when the blood sugar goes low, because we don't have too much of carbs in the diet, is through the breakdown of stored body fat. Yes, when the body wants to store fat, it holds it in the form of triglycerides with a glucose molecule known as the glycerol, playing the role of a backbone anchoring 3 fatty acids. So this glycerol molecule anchoring 3 fatty acids is where the word tri, meaning 3, and glyceride, meaning glycerol molecule, is derived. Once the body detects that the blood sugar energy is low in the body, in the circulation it is dropping, it releases the fat from the stores with a glycerol molecule, which gets converted to glucose in the liver. So the fascinating fact about the body is that it can produce the all-important glucose molecule which is required for your brain to function well from carbs, proteins and body fats. Still, there is no way that the body can convert the carbs from the diet to make proteins and essential fats required for optimal functioning of the body and the brain. Fatty acids such as omega-3 and omega-6, which can only be obtained from food sources in our diet, such as from fish, nuts, seeds, and some fruits such as olive and avocado. Glucose is composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and lacks the nitrogen necessary for the growth, development, and repair of the body. This nitrogen is only present in the protein in our diet. Since glucose is such a superfluous molecule, carbs are a non-essential component of a healthy diet. However, protein and essential fats that the body cannot make are vital for good health. So, your every meal needs to contain dairy, vegetable, nuts, seeds, legumes, pulses, whole grains, meat, eggs, poultry, fish, and not starch and white sugar if you want to build a healthy body. Adding sugar and refined white starch will only elevate your blood sugar to an unnecessary, unhealthy level of way above 80 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of blood. Over time, this accumulated high and abusive level of blood sugar will lead to metabolic problems such as excessive fat accumulation, obesity, chronically elevated blood sugar or diabetes, high blood pressure or hypertension, high cholesterol or hypercholesterolemia, and other diseases of the modern world that are very unhealthy, especially as we age. So fats and proteins are essential in a healthy diet. Sugar and carbs are optional and should be minimized or avoided whenever possible, especially those in white color.